Good afternoon, guys. It's Working, bringing you a quick update on EOS. Hope you guys are having a wonderful afternoon. We're looking at EOS to the US dollar, 4-hour chart on Bitfinex, guys. And yesterday I told you EOS was operating inside this wedge. I told you in the video to watch out for possible traps, both bull and bear traps. In my opinion, I thought that things were setting up for a possible bear trap, guys, where price would fake us out, go low, possibly come right back up, although I wasn't convinced of that at all. Just told you that the two areas we have to look out for, the bottom of this wedge here, sitting at around 4.82, which is the prior low of this microstructure, and the top of this wedge here, which is sitting at about 5.31, which is the top of, again, the top of this microstructure here, guys. Those are the two areas to watch out for. We can see price came up, had a very quick wick right up, broke out initially. Not even, I mean, just a kind of a pathetic bear trap, if that's in fact what it was. Kind of price kind of broke right out, hit this resistance at about 510. Excuse me, guys, hit this resistance at about 510, rejected off that 510, and just immediately dropped right down. I warned you guys yesterday if price did end up breaking down. The only small resistance zone between $5 and $4, I told you guys, was this small little resistance sitting at 5.4, or excuse me, 4.57. If we come back here, I showed you guys this in the past. If I can find it. There we go. We could see here in the past, we zoom in here, guys, this was the only tiny little reaction we had here, coming down, moved sideways, then broke down, coming up, moved sideways, then broke up. So this was the only hope of resistance, and still remains, in my opinion, the only hope of resistance between current price and $5, or excuse me, and $4. We can see from an Elliott perspective, as I counted out for you guys yesterday, I do believe big picture, we are on a WXY pattern. Failed wave here, ABC, we're on the bottom of this C wave. I counted out for you guys. If you haven't watched yesterday's video, I'll just quickly recap. I do believe we're on our C wave. I'm counting down 5 waves down. I do believe we've seen a 1, 2, 3, 4, and we're down for the 5th wave now. Counting out the 5 subwaves of wave 5. As I showed you guys yesterday, I put the subwaves in pink here today. I do believe we've got a 1, 2, 3, 4, and we're coming down for that 5th, excuse me, guys, that 5th subwave, and that 5th subwave is looking for bottom. Now, if we take our fib extension and we just go from the beginning of subwave 3 to the top of subwave 3 to the bottom of wave 4 here, what do we got? We got a 1-to-1 extension. Obviously, wave 5 very often is a 1-to-1 extension, guys. We do have a if I should say, if we do get a 1-to-1 extension this time, that's going to be almost exactly $4. And as I pointed out yesterday, that's a very coincidental, or should I say, is it coincidental, that it coincides perfectly with our $4 resistance zone that we've been discussing. So, you know, the fact that we've broken down, guys, this $4 is becoming a very, very real target. I'm not saying we're going to get there, guys. As I told you, this is kind of the last hope between where we are now and $4. We can see that we came down. We've wicked right off. I mean, literally a perfect touch where I told you guys yesterday, right at that 4.57. Perfect touch, small little wick, guys. Not much of a rejection at all. So in my opinion, I do think there's a good chance that we might have some more downside to go. Doesn't mean we have to, guys. We could turn this thing around right away. We know there's a ton of manipulation in the market, and we also know this depends a lot on Bitcoin. If Bitcoin does rise, EOS will more than likely rise with it. But assuming Bitcoin doesn't rise, assuming Bitcoin just stays stagnant and neutral, I do think there's a good chance that EOS is going to drop down and hit this $4 range. Now, to the upside, guys, if there is going to be any hope, we were going to bounce off this. The most bullish scenario I can think of, even though this is not my primary account, I'd be surprised if this happens, but still, it's a possibility. We're going to bounce off this, possibly come down, double tap, hit this zone again, and then bounce right back up. At that point, guys, we're going to be watching what created a bit of a supply zone up here. Sitting around 510, somewhere thereabouts, guys. It bounced many times off this 510 resistance. If we can break above 510, guys, I think it'll be a rather quick rise up into this order block here at about 5.55, somewhere thereabouts, guys. I've kind of readjusted our resistance lines as you can see, to go along with current price. We can see 5.55 is about a good resistance at this point, guys. And if that does end up breaking, excuse me, then we're going to more than likely come in here right after this 5.75 zone here. And so we just have a lot of resistance to the upside, not a lot of resistance to the downside, guys. So we really need this market to bottom out. We really do. We need Bitcoin to bottom out. If Bitcoin can bottom out, guys, the rest of the alts are going to bottom out, and then I think it's going to be a off to the races eventually. But it's just a matter of when. If price does reach the $4 range, I will be dollar cost averaging in between $4 and $3.50. Hopefully, don't know if it'll get that low, but assuming that it might, I will dollar cost average in between $4 and $3.50. I've got buy orders sitting down there right now, guys. We know that in the past our prior low was in this area here. We can see our prior low was at 383, I think it was 383, somewhere thereabouts, was the prior low of back in March, mid-March, somewhere thereabouts, guys. So I would be surprised if it did get much lower than that, but I'll be dollar cost averaging in between $4 all the way down to $3.50. Don't think it'll get down to $3.50, but you never know. So I'll dollar cost average in shorting accordingly, as I talked about, guys. If we look at our moving averages, this is on the 4-hour. 4-hour moving averages, guys, we can see that just kind of completely collapsed. It initially tried to break above the 8-day EMA. That was rejected hard, and we just collapsed down here to the bottom of this Bollinger Band. The fact that we've got no major reaction off this bottom Bollinger Band here, guys, is a very, very bearish indication. We come out here to the daily. We can see the daily didn't even make it up to the 8-day EMA, guys. Just very, very bearish, weak market all the way around. Coming down, haven't even tested the bottom of this the bottom Bollinger Bands on the daily quite yet, guys. So just, again, looking bearish all the way around. No signs of strength whatsoever. We come in here, we check short positions on EOS. Shorts are continuing to stack, guys. So people do believe, even as low as we are, guys, even as low as we are, we're still seeing short stack, which, it can be good and bad. Tells you that the retail investors expect us to go much lower, but we know the market makers, anytime you see a stack like this, they like to take out shorts. So we might see market makers go stop hunting in the short term, which might give EOS a little bit of a kick back up. But it doesn't mean, even if we get a small kick back up, and we go back here, even if we do, even if price does end up getting up, get this little bit of a bounce, until we get past 510, guys, I won't think there's any legs to that bounce at all. I think more than likely it'll get a bounce off this, and then possibly back down to crash through this 4.57 support. Again, coming out looking at long positions, guys, longs are still stacked fairly well, guys, which is kind of surprising to me. I think people are dollar cost average again and just planning to hold even if it goes even lower. They're just choosing not to sell, which which isn't a bad idea, because I do believe that the bottom could come in at any point. I mean, at this time, I do believe the bottom, we're within probably more than likely 50 to 70 cents of the bottom. So really, if you've already started dollar cost average in, not knowing where the bottom is going to be, might make sense just to hold your position, knowing long term that 50 cents isn't going to make much of a difference. But just opinion, not financial advice, guys. Just as I said, just my kind of my thoughts, what I would do personally. So these are my quick thoughts on EOS, guys. Just a quick recap. For today, max downside, guys, I still think it's a possibility. And you know what? Not so much for today. I don't know that it's going to be a free fall if we do get down here. I do think it'll be a slow, steady decline, maybe a free fall, but I think more than likely it'll take a couple days to reach down here at $4. However, that is my max downside, $4, possibly as low as $3.50, but more than likely $4, good psychological number. To the upside, my max upside for today is going to be this zone here at 5.55, somewhere thereabouts, guys. I don't think it's going to come up any higher than that. If it does, that'd be wonderful, guys. But in my opinion, for today, my max upside sitting here is about 5.55. As far as trades go, guys, I'd be sitting here waiting to let the trades come to you. If we do get down here, guys, it's a must buy in my opinion. As far as going long where we are right now, guys, you certainly can if you want to start dollar cost averaging in, guys. It wouldn't be a bad idea. I mean, we could this could be the bottom. We could see the market makers turn this thing around right away. It's just a matter of what they what they want to do and where they want to take this market in the long term, in the short term. If you remember yesterday, guys, if we look at this daily RSI, I warned you guys of this rising wedge that was showing up on the daily RSI. I said more than likely that indicated that price was anytime, or a rising wedge anytime indicates price is more than likely going to break down. That's exactly what we got. We got literally right to the apex, and price just broke right down. Warned you guys of a bear trap. We're not seeing any indications of a bear trap as of yet. So it does look like a legitimate breakdown, guys. More than likely consolidation sideways before it does end up gaining some momentum to end up rising right back up. But we could see we could still see a lot more downside, guys. So we have to wait and see. We can see down here on the RSI, we got as low as, before we saw any kind of a bounce, as low as about 18, 19. So I would just kind of be very, very cautious entering any long positions, unless you're planning on holding it to for a very extended period of time. By extended, I mean months to maybe a year. If you're planning on holding this for a long time and you're wanting to get in, guys, and you want to make sure that you catch some kind of a good price, good bottom, this is certainly a good price for EOS. I don't believe EOS is going to maintain these low prices for a very long period of time, guys. Doesn't mean it can't go any lower. It certainly can, but in the long run, is this current price of $4.71 going to be a good buy for EOS a year from now? Oh yeah, I think this is going to be a great price. For EOS a year from now, guys, yeah, there's no question. You're going to wish you had the opportunity to buy at $4.71. But if you'd like to wait for a lower low, guys, certainly that's your prerogative. I've already got my long positions that I've held. I hold about 20% of my portfolio in long positions. A good portion of that is EOS, and I won't sell no matter what. But am I going to enter any long positions as of right now? Nope. I'm waiting for the $4 to possibly $3.50. That's just my opinion, though, guys. You guys do whatever you want, not financial advice. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap it there, guys. If you have any comments, questions, suggestions, please let me know in the comments section below. As always, I certainly would appreciate an upvote or a re-steam. Until next time, guys, please trade safe. This is Working, signing out.